I meant to ask before we rolled here. Do you like my hat?
Do you like my hat?
Should I keep my hat on?
I can hardly see your hat because it blends in so much with the background.
Oh.
It is.
Hey, PJ, fire up that camera over there.
It is the perfect color.
Is he firing up that camera?
Hang on.
Come on, Miss. There he is. Look at him. Look at PJ.
PJ
do you read?
Good.
Do you read it now?
No. I can. You didn't hear my whole sentence.
Philadelphia Flower Show.
I can't
in purple.
See it.
Thank you, PJ.
I can't see it because it blends into your Smerconish background.
Oh.
Because it's the exact same color.
Okay.
That is what I said.
All right.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
Good talk.
I'm matching is my point today.
You look great.
The hat, the shirt.
Yep.
Even the kicks, as the kids would say.
Put them up. Let's see. Oh, boy. Purple sneakers.
And lint.
Looking sharp.
Am I too old to wear sneakers like this?
Absolutely not. Sneakers are for everyone.
I think Eric X gave me these, the intern.
I think you're right.
Did he give me these?
I believe he did.
PJ, fire up that second camera again, please.
Oh, boy. Here we go. There you go. Oh, boy. Showing the kicks. Oh, my God.
By the way, keep looking.
What are we looking at? Oh, stop. Keep your pants on, for God's sakes. Oh, jeez.
I hope that went over well in the world of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, Play Gun Lake, baby. Play Gun Lake. Wherever you are. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Where's my phone? Wherever I take this, and I take it everywhere, I can play blackjack. I can play baccarat. I can play roulette. I can play slots. All of that in the great state of Michigan. Play your favorite casino games with live dealers on the Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app. Make your downtime fun time. Live bet. Sports while you're watching the game. You're sitting there on the sofa, you're watching the game, like pick up the phone, you got some action in it. All the action and excitement from the casino right at your fingertips, at home or wherever you are. It's safe and it's simple and it's easy to use. Play Gun Lake, the only app that I use in the great state of Michigan. Yes, I'm coming to Grand Rapids in a couple of weeks. Great offer for new users. New users download the Play Gun Lake app right now and get up to a $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Casino bonus has to be wagered. PlayGunLake.com for details. You've got to be 21 and in Michigan. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. Bet. Play Gun Lake. Time now for headlines from the Thursday edition of the newsletter. Man, there's so much news pertaining to President Biden and this whole post-debate situation. But I keep coming back to, and I know there's a poll question in this for tomorrow, I keep coming back to when were they going to tell us? Like this Clooney story, this Clooney essay in the New York Times is really amazing when you stop and think about it, because he was on that stage. We had the reporter from The Hollywood Reporter who shot the video and we parsed it, gave the president the benefit of the doubt.
That's right. Was it a kindness? We did a whole poll question on it.
Yeah.
Was it a kindness of like leading him off the stage, or was he trying to help someone who was frailty? Yeah. Friendship or frailty?
Is that what it was?
That's what you asked.
Yeah.
You like that.
And like saw the first image of it and thought, wow, that doesn't look good. Then we interviewed the reporter and he's like, hey.
Who was great, by
I
the
shot
way.
it. He was terrific.
Yeah.
Then we talked about the other camera angles. But when George Clooney says, it's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big effing deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Was he tired? Yes. A cold? Maybe. But our party leaders need to stop telling us that what 51 people did. Sorry. Our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we just saw. Well, George, when were you going to tell us what you just saw? But for the debate, the poll question tomorrow will be something along the lines of, but for the debate, were you ever going to tell us?
Maybe the debate made them realize, I mean, it's not like George Clooney sees Biden every day. Maybe he kind of thought, is this having an off night? Is he something wrong with him? In other words, sort of what Nancy Pelosi said, is it, or whoever said, is it a condition or an incident?
Right.
Maybe George Clooney was like episode. Like maybe George Clooney thought, I shouldn't say something because that can't be the way. That can't be the way he is all the time.
Right. Well, okay.
And then you see the debate and you're like, holy gosh.
Maybe that's cover for Clooney, but is it cover for Obama? Because we now know that Clooney called President Obama and gave him a heads up and apparently wasn't talked out of it by Obama. That, I have to say, is just it's just like Pelosi and what she said but didn't say and kind of said on Morning Joe yesterday. Like, she's a sophisticated operator. She knew what she was doing. And so too Obama in not dissuading. I sent out a tweet this morning and I said, like, the only thing more damning would be if Clooney had called Jill. And Jill didn't talk him out of it either.
Like, maybe this will be the thing that will cause Joe to, because it has to come from Joe.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Saturday was of the opinion that it's a question of when, not if. Monday, Tuesday, kind of wondered, wait a minute, is Biden going to be able to keep this at bay? No, I'm where I was.
Are you firmly back there?
Well, I never really left there. You asked me yesterday, and I said Mark has been fluid, but I have not.
I know. Huh.
By the way, I'm not hoping, praying, nothing. I'm just, what do I think?
Oh wait, I'm hoping.
I don't think it's sustainable.
I'm absolutely hoping he comes to that decision, and it's not some catastrophic either event or horrible, interaction that pushes him up. He can't run.
He can't run.
He cannot
He can't run. Everybody knows it.
So when you say I'm not hoping, I am absolutely
hoping. Well, I don't want to
hoping.
be misunderstood, and you're big-hearted. People know this about you. It's not as if you're hoping for a gaffe and you want there to be a misstep at
I'm
the
hoping
presser
the opposite.
today.
I'm hoping that
leave
he
with
does
some
it without.
dignity.
Yes,
leave with some
that's
dignity.
Exactly right. But I think that's what Nancy Pelosi was trying to tell him yesterday.
Think about this. Think about the harm to his legacy among Democrats if he stays and he loses. If he stays and he loses.
I keep thinking, and
people are going to be like, Biden, he should have got off the stage.
This is kind of a silly example, but I remember when Emma was little and we would have a play date. And you know how some kids, when they're leaving a play date, pitch a fit and don't want to go? And my saying to her was always, if you want to come back, you have to leave well. Leave well.
Good advice.
And she got that. And I think he has to leave well at this point. And he's not.
Right. 32,192 votes were cast yesterday. Do you agree with David Axelrod that it's more likely President Biden loses to Trump in a landslide than wins narrowly? In other words, there's no scenario where Biden wins in a landslide. Take that off the table. Axelrod says, and 54% of you agree, it's more likely Trump wins in a landslide than, did I say that right? It's more likely Biden loses to Trump in a landslide than wins narrowly. Today's poll question: if President Biden doesn't run, should he endorse Vice President Harris or embrace an open blitz primary? Ted Dintersmith was here yesterday, venture capitalist, wrote on this, published in USA Today. I said it last Saturday. Carville has written on it. Clooney in that Times essay. Let's hear from Wes Moore and Kamala Harris and Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom, although, as we've talked about, he says he's out. Not sure I believe it. And Andy Beshear and J.B. Pritzker. So, that's the sentiment, but I think there will be tremendous pressure brought to bear from the African-American community in particular on Biden. Congressional Black Caucus embraced him on Monday. He did 2 radio interviews. The first media appearances that he did were with African-American radio hosts, went to the black church. I mean, he's tripling down in his strongest quarter, which is the black community, has been since the South Carolina 2020 primary. A lot of those folks are going to say, wait a minute, you're dissing Kamala Harris if you don't endorse her. It's complicated, but that's an issue to keep your eye on. Steve Breen, it's a Thursday. Thursday means Steve Breen draws for us at Smerconish.com. I like it. It's a split screen. On one hand, it's the White House thought bubble. Sir, people are saying you're too old to run again. And then you see what's going on inside the White House. It's 2044 on the wall. Yep. Trump is still there, and he says, who cares, as he's
ripping up the Constitution.
As he's ripping up the Constitution.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thursday also means it's TC After Dark Day. Give some play to TC and her podcast. What do you have?
Do you honk?
Do I honk? What does that mean?
When you are driving in your car, do you use the horn?
No, I'm not a honker.
You're not a honker.
I am not a honker.
Okay.
No.
This is the whole premise of my podcast today, is whether or not you honk, when you honk, what you think about people who honk. And I have to say, this started because I was with a friend in the car. Someone stopped in front of us and he really wanted to lay on the horn, but he knew I didn't like it. And so he didn't. And it started this whole conversation. And then every time we've been out to dinner with people or out with people, I've asked, and it has been hysterical. People have so many opinions on this. I had one friend that's like, well, I stopped giving the finger and now I give a really sarcastic thumbs up. I was like, that is a positive,
do nothing.
That's a positive thing. You've said sometimes you do the little boop boop.
Boop boop.
Yeah.
I'm really just not a honker. By the way,
when the naked woman was taking out the trash in your neighborhood.
Oh,
you
laid
said
on
you
the horn.
There you go.
Oh, how could you not? A naked woman took the trash out in my neighborhood, and our third son, our youngest son, was with me in my pickup.
At age what at that point? It was a while
6.
ago. Yeah.
And that came
beep.
beep beep.
Yeah,
I definitely did.
Right.
Would you not?
My point is there are times for a horn.
I
believe that is a perfect time for a horn.
Do you know that my car, if I hit the horn, it immediately records? So if I see something, if I see like a crime or something, just hitting that horn, I can record.
That's interesting.
I must tell you, not today, a story about my car.
Wait, is it?
And it is to your detriment if you don't remind me to bring it up.
Wait, you had the last time you did this was like it's different.
I got a story for you. I have a story.
Okay.
You see, you can what's on the floor
yes, I
with
do
the
know
chart.
What's on the floor, the chart.
Okay, it goes on that list.
Oh, I love this.
More headlines from the Thursday edition of the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. So the Rust trial, the involuntary manslaughter trial for Alec Baldwin is underway. What's he being charged with? The way that I would explain it is he's being charged with criminal negligence, like a heightened level of negligence. I got to say, the prosecutor said during the opening statement, Erlinda Johnson, the evidence will show that someone who played make-believe with a real gun and violated the cardinal rules of firearm safety is the defendant, Alexander Baldwin. She alleged that he requested to be assigned the biggest gun available. I mean, call me naive. If I'm on a movie set and I'm an actor and it is make-believe and you hand me a gun and there's an armorer on set whose job it is, am I not to presume it's not a live round of, a bullet in there?
I don't know I think what they're saying is that there are, despite all of that you just said, make believe, armor, the whole thing, there are still rules that he did not follow. That's what I got yesterday from the opening arguments. That might be wrong. I might, who knows? But I think that's what they need to sort out. What was his responsibility? I don't know the answer to that.
To be continued. I know, by the way, there are cameras in that courtroom.
There are.
I'm trying not to get sucked in because I
know
if I start,
yesterday.
there's not enough time in the day given all that's going on politically. So I'm trying to resist. How about the crossbow killer in a North London cemetery? What the hell? 26-year-old guy? What do we know? I haven't paid that close attention to it. But do we know whether this was random? Did he know these people? Was it a targeted attack?
We don't know. We don't know at this point. I'm sure it will all come out. He was found in the cemetery. The women, the mother and the 2 daughters were killed at their home. And evidently they were tied up and then shot. And when they were found, they were still alive, but they all died on the scene. And so I'm in horror thinking of, were they tied up and then shot? And did they did they have to watch each other get shot? That scene to me, I can't really even fathom it. I just get sick thinking about it.
Okay, so again, sticking with the crime blotter sequence here, the Rust trial, the crossbow killer, Nathan's hot dog contest?
Yeah.
So I'm confused about this because I thought when I read, and I read it quickly, the husband of the women's division champion, I thought, wait, did she cheat? No. The allegation, he also is a competitive eater.
He is.
Both of them are.
Correct. And he is accused of cheating by shuffling around the empty plates and putting other extra empty plates in front of him so that they would be counted. So
That's
number
what I
of
used
hot
to do
dogs
as a kid.
would be
if
counted.
I didn't want to eat the liver with
You
onions,
scooched it around.
I'd get my brother's plate.
Scoochy.
Yeah.
Put it in the potted plant.
Do you remember doing that? Hiding food because your parents eat everything on your plate.
No, I always ate everything on my plate.
Nick Weary, husband of women's division champion and pink mustard belt holder Mickey Sudo, accused of using, as TC said, sleight of hand trickery to beef up his tally at the July 4th competition and place himself among the sport's most elite competitors. I didn't know, but like the threshold for respectability is 50 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
It's like the threshold for respectability of the poll question is now 30,000 votes.
Right.
The threshold for respectability of hot dogs is 50, and he was at 46.75, and he wanted to be above 50. Allegedly.
I could probably eat the best that I could do.
Here we go.
In 10 minutes would probably be the best, and I'd be pushing myself. I don't do this, but if I pushed myself, I could probably eat 8 tacos.
Tacos?
Yeah.
What about hot dogs?
No, 2. But I could probably, I'm just saying, like, what could I eat the
tacos?
most of?
Like Taco Bell.
I would do Crispy Supreme from Taco Bell.
Crispy, that could be hard to swallow.
So I mean, the Primo tacos for me are the ones that I make myself, and I'm using a fried corn tortilla. I could do 8 of those, I'll bet, in 10 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, with 3 beers. That would be 3 beers.
Wow. Okay, now we're really getting there.
That would be 3 beers and 8 tacos in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, from crime news to work news, Mayor Sherelle Parker. This is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Keep your eye on Philadelphia new Mayor Sherelle Parker. She is trying to institute full-time, in-person return to work. She's being fought by the white-collar union. That would be District Council 47. Most affected by change. I thought interesting that she raised equity as a rationale for wanting everybody to work. And she's essentially saying, look, you white-collar workers, not you white workers, you white-collar workers, you're the ones who are able to work remotely. But if you're a cop, if you're a fighter, there's no such thing as working remotely. Fairness demands that everybody be back. And part of the rationale here is the vibrancy of Center City. And I totally understand that. I don't think she's going to be successful in bringing it all the way back, but I hope she's successful because it just is important for mingling purposes.
I'm telling you, 4 short years ago, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. No. It is amazing to me how much times have changed. And I talked to Emma and her age group, and the thought for them of a 5-day in-person work week is absolutely
abhorrent.
They can't even.
Abhorrent.
My daughter thinks I'm crazy. I mean, like, this is...
Yeah, I know. I've got them in my house, too. Same thing. I'm going to blow through 2 stories because I want to get to a final story.
Good.
California fast food workers, now the requirement is $20 an hour. We've got a good story here from the Associated Press as to the impact that it's having. And in a number of fast food places, you'll read about them here. They're laying people off. They're just saying, hey, we can't sustain $20 an hour. CNN planning to cut 100 employees as the network has now announced its long-awaited digital blueprint.
What do you know about this?
I know nothing other than I read in the trades. I know nothing about it.
Did you get the memo?
I'm a supporter of Mark Thompson. He's a smart guy. He did this successfully at the New York Times. CNN president, this is amazing. He was the head of the BBC, the head of the New York Times, and now he's running CNN. I mean, a trifecta. Any one of those would have been such a cap on someone's career.
Right.
And in entertainment news, Horizon 2. Remember I said Horizon 2, Kevin Costner, it's intended to be 4 parts. You had to go see part 1 in June, come back in August and see part 2.
Bookending the summer.
They've pulled the August release because the June release did not do well.
Oh, no.
Interesting. From Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't see a divide like this all that often, a 48% tomato meter score. Those are the critics. 71% from, put that up there, PJ, would you? 71%. No. We're talking about the tomato meter. 71% from the audience.
What a shame.
So the audience is enjoying it. I would say a 71% means they're giving it a C. Okay. And the critics are giving it a D, clearly, right?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I know you did.
I liked it. And I liked it. And remember the story I told about how in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, 5 minutes left, fabulous game, Edmonton knocking on the door of the Florida Panthers. I'm half in the bag, falling asleep, watching it on my TV. They go to commercial, and all of a sudden there's a Horizon commercial, and my name, you can show it, PJ, my name is in the slide that ends the commercial. 50. Look at
That's your
This
quote.
is not just a movie; it's an event. And in the very small type, it says Michael Smerconish.
Amazing.
Right. And again, I told you,
But not enough.
At home, from one or more of our sons, I heard like, Dad, are you the best they can do?
They're not. They're hard
That
on
movie
you.
must not be cutting it.
They are hard on you.
Like, didn't they have somebody at Variety or the
Wait,
Hollywood
so
Reporter?
Does this mean it's the end for Kevin Costner's project?
I don't know, TC. I noticed that part 1 is going to, I forget what the acronym is, but it's going to be made available, I assume, on a streaming service.
Okay.
Video on demand, maybe. It's going to be available
Okay.
for you to watch at home.
Okay.
He's finished part 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure what's at issue is the delivery mechanism. I'm for him.
So am
the
I.
The guy put it all on the line.
Yeah.
It's an epic, big screen Western. It's a shame because I'm sure it'll be much more appreciated on a big screen, but he put $38 million of his own dollars on the line for this. It's his passion project. And I want to see parts 2, 3, and 4. So there you go.
There you go.
Go vote on today's poll question at Smerconish.com. We appreciate you, and we'll see you later.